like to welcome you all to the Lucas and Laurel wedding extravaganza. As I look at you all, I think that extravaganza is the right word. To begin, I want to extend to you the heartfelt thanks of Lucas and Laurel for attending this very special occasion, especially those of you that have traveled very far. I know that we have guests here from Florida and Maryland, Virginia, Washington, D.C., and New York, Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky and Montana, California and Washington State. Also, I know that some of you came up from inner Southeast Portland, and you don't get out much. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Tim, and I want to say what a great honor and pleasure it is that I've been asked by Lucas and Laurel to preside at this affair. I've never done anything like this before, and I didn't honestly know that I would ever want to. But when Lucas and Laurel asked me, I became very excited and very flattered. So much so that when I went onto the internet to get my accreditation, I went ahead and spent the extra $15 on the wallet card. If y'all want to see it, I'll show you afterwards. First, Lucas and Laurel have asked me to say just a few words about them and their courtship. I think that this is because they need to calm down just a bit. I first met Lucas over a decade ago at a place called the Laurel Pub. If you're familiar with it, then you know how special it is, and if not, then you should go. I remember thinking to myself, then meeting Lucas, man, what a goofy kid. However, it became evident that this was actually a trait that was born of unbridled enthusiasm and intense earnestness. Over the next 10 years, I was around Lucas as he, despite predictions, matured into the incredible man that you see before us. He has not bridled that enthusiasm, but rather honed it with focus. And he has not lost his earnestness, but rather tempered it with wit. He has become, in fact, husband material. Which brings us to Laurel. When I first met Laurel, I remember her being shy and a bit reserved. I later found out that this was actually because Laurel was always tired. She was always heading from one job to another, or one job to school, or school to a job, or all three in a day. In fact, Laurel is a lady of incredible drive, tempered perfectly with sweetness. This is important because otherwise the rest of us would feel like lazy layabouts in her presence. It really is just the opposite. When you are around Laurel, her positivity in life make you think that you too could get another job, or two, or at least one. That you could start that project that you've been meaning to, all the while planning for that concert coming up and a trip with plenty of time left over for your friends. That you can do so with a smile all the time and with grace and beauty. A smile like hers deserves a smile in return. Lucas and Laurel met the way people have met for ages and ages, long before the internet. They met in a bar, and there was alcohol involved. It was in August of 2011, and they shared their first date on September 2nd of that year. They met for a lunch of sushi and, knowing, as we do, how ridiculously cute they are, probably an epic game of footsie. As someone who has seen my share of meetings at the basement pub, I did not think a lot about a silent, "Good job, buddy." Weeks became months, and it became obvious that love was blooming. Such was the inseparableness of the two of them that the mighty Laurcas was born. A two-headed creature of grins and video games and theme parks that shared one heart. Months became a year, and one afternoon as Lucas was doing his janitor job at the basement pub, he almost casually let drop to me that he was going to propose to Laurel. It's kind of hard to take somebody seriously when they're rolling a toilet brush. It didn't seem surprising though. We all know that he'd been working very hard, saving up money, ostensibly to buy a car. Well, on Christmas Eve, he pulled Laurel's mother, Toddy, aside and said quite seriously that he had something to talk to her about. She was understandably concerned. Her concern was short-lived, though, as Lucas spoke of marriage. The next morning, amid the other Christmas presents, was the ring. And that brings us all here today. I'm sure by now you're tired of listening to me. So without further ado, I'm going to turn this over to Lucas and Laurel, as the two of them have prepared something they'd like to say in front of you. Laurel.
Lucas, I'm going to let you introduce my friends. Sorry, guys. And make them your own. I mean, I love that you meet my mother for the first time. You will learn to hold her soft, fast, and laugh with her friendly. And I love you when you met my brother, Christina. You were out of her bed and living your life before the restaurant you were and then agreed to go to Tennessee. I knew you didn't care for waiting in lines or service. I knew I loved you when I met your mother for the first time. You showed her nothing but respect and graciousness for raising me the way she did. There are so many things that make me fall more and more in love with you every single day. Your hard work and drive, your dedication to your family and friends, and your ability to make yourself live in each situation and enjoy it, even if it is challenging. These are all characteristics that I love about you. With complete confidence, I can say that you are your mother. I promise to tell you that I love you more. I promise to continue to be gentle with you and I promise to try my hardest to stay away from tweets, especially I promise to encourage you to continue to do things today. I promise to laugh with you, especially on the hardest days. And I promise one day experience and embrace the organ that you carry. I must have more than committed to being and keeping you over life. And to love you to the end.
Laurel, I didn't decide I wanted to be your husband and single over the time that I got to know you. Each time I saw you, I saw more kindness, empathy, and caring every time I feel it. You are my favorite kind of person. Hardworking, dependable, and ready for fun at the drop of a hat. It's these things that are inherent in you, yet also born of an effort to be these things that set you apart. You are beautiful. Your heart is beautiful. You are what I found in your life is something that I want to be part of. I promise here today in front of our loved ones to be there for you through the things that we choose and the things that we don't. I promise to work hard rather than wish for it, but we don't. I promise to start asking first before I try. I promise to better myself for me and for you. I promise
changes in your lives. Lucas, do you give yourself to be Laurel's husband? Do you pledge to share your life openly, to speak the truth to her in love? Do you promise to honor and care for her, to cherish and encourage her own fulfillment as an individual through all the changes of her lives? Very well. I now pronounce you husband and wife. Lucas, you may now kiss the bride. Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time, we're about to introduce Lucas and Laurel. Our first photos, we're going to take a group photo. The wedding party is going to walk up to the middle of the steps. We'll have some photos, and then those of you that are in desperate need of it can go down to the reception area for some liquid